If you really want to change your life, you have to change how you see yourself.
If you can get a mental image of the person you would most like to become,
How many times now have you tried to improve yourself,
begin now to act as that person would act in everything you do.
only to keep falling back to your old destructive ways?
Gradually, imperceptibly, you will actually become that person.
You may have been trying for a few months or even years now, but disciplining yourself to stay consistent with all the good habits and goals you set for yourself always seems like a constant uphill battle.
Before you can do what you would most like to do, you must first become the person who can do it.
Look, I know exactly what that
Obviously.
feels like because I spent years in that position. I would watch countless videos, get inspired, and learn all these good habits, only to be back 2 days later, breaking all the promises I made to myself and procrastinating every task.
We forget we are in control of our mind.
And this was a cycle I just couldn't escape. See, motivation and especially discipline are essential for success, but you are never going to be consistent with these until you change this vital thing. And when I changed this, that's when I started to see real growth in every aspect of my life for the first time. So what was this thing I changed? Well, I changed my self-image. See, what you don't realize is that your self-image literally dictates your life and is the core foundation for personal development. Every top athlete, entrepreneur, or performer you have seen have all had to alter their self-image in order to succeed. And if you don't change it, you are never going to be able to get consistent with your goals because you are going to keep holding yourself back. Like Goggins, for example, he wasn't born with this skill to work incredibly hard. He said it himself that he was extremely lazy until he began to create a new image of himself in his mind.
And in my mind, I'm really big on visualization. Man, I went in my mind, I said, okay, I want to look like this, I want to feel like this, and I want to have a mind that is cast iron steel.
And no, changing your self-image doesn't make hard things feel any easier, but you can transform yourself into someone who believes that they can do hard things. See, the self-image is the idea of what kind of person you view yourself to be, and it is shaped by the beliefs you hold about yourself, which you most likely got from experiences in the past. Take a person who is overweight, for example. Have you ever seen someone you know go on a diet, lose a pile of weight, and then you see them again a few months later and they've put all the weight back on again? Or the common story of a person winning the lottery only to end up wasting their whole money. See, the cause of these things is that they never altered their self-image, meaning in their minds they still viewed themselves as overweight and financially unstable. So their physical behaviors had to readjust to their set of beliefs, and so they started to take the actions of a person who was overweight or not good with money, because that's the image they were holding in their minds. Because you've heard it before, that to first be a millionaire,
more
you
than
have to
that.
become a person who can make $1 million. And if you just win the lottery, for example, you haven't built up the character traits to be a millionaire, because our actions, feelings, behaviors, and even abilities are always consistent with our self-image. So you always act like the kind of person you view yourself to be. And
He
not
makes it
just
sound
that,
that
you
everybody's like
literally
that.
can't
It's not the
act
same.
otherwise. In better terms, your self-image dictates what you can and can't do. See, I always had these limiting beliefs of why would I ever be able to get views on YouTube? How could I ever be socially confident? And I'm just not a disciplined individual. And because these negative beliefs formed my self-image, it made perfect sense that I was holding myself back and making no progress in any of my goals. And in the book Psycho-Cybernetics, Maxwell Maltz says, the man who conceives himself to be a failure type person will find some way to fail in spite of all his good
course.
intentions or his willpower, even if opportunity is literally dumped in his lap. You see, if you don't change your self-image, it acts as a ceiling and limits your growth. But
Yeah,
if
it's
you
also
improve your
tough.
self-image, you improve the area of what's possible in your life. As Michael Jordan said, you must expect great things before you can do them. What I learned from the book Psycho-Cybernetics is that in order for us to change our self-image, we must first change our mental pictures through visualization. Because as our brains have been molded by experiences in the past, it means it can also be changed by experiences again. And according to the author Maxwell Maltz, research has shown that the human nervous system cannot tell the difference between an actual experience and an experience imagined vividly in detail. Top athletes like Kobe Bryant, Ronaldo, Michael Jordan, and even Goggins all used visualization to improve their self-image and perform better in their sports. They would visualize how they wanted the game to play out, and they would really feel what it was like to be there. By visualizing the best possible outcomes, they were essentially giving themselves more confidence in their abilities because it allowed them to be there mentally before they were ever actually there physically. And so their behaviors would begin to align with the beliefs they were holding. I heard a quote from Michael Jordan where he said, "I visualized where I wanted to be, what player I wanted to become, I knew exactly where I wanted to go, and I focused on getting there." What you have to realize is that the thoughts we have are basically the goals that we set for our brain. You see, if we are holding thoughts of unworthiness and failure in our minds, in basic terms a negative self-image, well then our actions and behaviors have to align with this negative self-image, because our subconscious will see that as the goal to strive for. So here's an actionable step to change your self-image. Write down what you want your future self to look like, and write it down in great detail. Then make it a habit every day to consistently visualize yourself as this person. What goals are they pursuing? How do they walk? How do they talk? How confident are they? Do they approach people with ease? Are they hardworking? And are they motivated, disciplined individuals? Visualize yourself doing these things in your mind, and do it with great detail. And if done consistently for a long enough period, you will begin to form a new self-image. And this will cause you to take the actions that the person in your new self-image would take. Just do this for a few minutes every day and relax and visualize the end goal of these experiences. And while doing this, try to feel the emotions you would be feeling if this experience was actually happening. And understand, for some things it may take time, because again, you are reprogramming old beliefs that you have instilled in your brain over many years. And your mind is going to fight back and try to tell you that you could never have the traits of the person you are visualizing. But realize this is completely normal and happens to everyone. When I began doing this, just randomly throughout the day, my brain started to give me positive thoughts about the things I was visualizing, and I started to have confidence in my abilities. And I really love this, because previously I was always a person whose mind would have automatic thoughts filled with doubts of how I was going to fail, instead of positive automatic thoughts of what I could achieve. Like, I began to see myself as a person who is actually disciplined and works hard on his goals. And then my actions started to adjust to these new set of beliefs. And don't get me wrong, this didn't suddenly just make hard work feel like a breeze for me, but it began to make me believe that hard work is just something I now face, because I see myself as a hardworking individual, so my actions have to align with that. And I found that taking immediate action on the new thoughts I was giving myself really sped up the process, because if you literally affirm these positive beliefs about yourself through action, well then you are essentially becoming that new person, because who you think you are. And don't think I'm completely perfect, because there's still many negative beliefs I have about myself, which I'm in the process of improving. But from what I have done so far, I have really seen the benefits, and realize, yes, you still have to put in the work, but this will cause you to believe you are able to do it. And that belief in yourself is extremely powerful. I hope I have made this easy enough to understand.
Alright, so this was very, very basic, and he did not need to go into all that detail, because there are so many better ways to improve upon your performance, improve upon your life, there are so many better ways to improve your life. So many better ways. What he did, yes, it may work for a little while, but he's missing the main ingredient. Is you have to find the root cause. Without finding the root cause, it keeps creeping up. It does. It keeps creeping up, and it's horrible, because you think you got it licked, and then all of a sudden, right when you need to be at your most powerful, it draws you down. All because you didn't take care of that issue. It just keeps pulling you back in. Take care of the root cause, and you'll notice a lot faster results. Not to mention more complete results to take you from here to here to here, exactly where you want to go.